Hello, my name is Jamie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Unlike any other YouTube channel that showcases Pokemon Go PvP content, mine exclusively showcases Shadow Pokemon. So, if you're into that type of content, I'd appreciate if you could like and subscribe.
So, let's get into today's video. In today's video, we are going to be testing out, is Shadow Zapdos hype or is it legit? Let me tell you, this thing is absolutely not hype. It is legit in the Remix Cup. Without G-Fisk and Bastiodon, this thing absolutely runs through teams. We are going to be testing it out today in two different team comps. So you're going to see 4 Pokemon's movesets and IVs in this intro. The first team we're going to use is going to be a Shadow Blastoise lead. I just wanted to use Shadow Blastoise. You can see the IVs are absolutely dreadful. But again, I do think it has some play as there's a lot of ice types around and it does beat other water types as well. In that team, it's going to be a Blastoise lead with a Shadow Drapion Safe Switch on its nuke moveset of Crunch and Sludge Bomb, with of course Shadow Zapdos in the closer position. We've obviously Elite TM'd it, its Charge Beam is dreadful, you do need Thundershock to use it. It's going to have Drill Peck and Thunderbolt, and in the second team comp we switch out the Shadow Blastoise for a Shadow Hypno lead. The Hypno is going to be on dual elemental punches. The punches I've chose to go with are Ice Punch and Thunder Punch. So, without any further ado, let's get right into this first set of battles. So the first 5 battles you see, we are going to be leading Shadow Blastoise, then we're going to switch it up into Shadow Hypno. In game 1, we do air it out, we manage to get back into the battle before it starts, which is great. They lead Politoed. Unless Politoed is running Earthquake, this is a pretty comfortable match for Blastoise. They fire far too quick, so this is either going to be a Surf or a Weather Ball. It's just a Weather Ball. Even my trash IV Blastoise doesn't take too much damage. They now switch out into a Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff does cause a problem for Drapion as obviously the charms are neutral with shields up. So I do soften it with a Hydro Cannon. At this stage I can just go straight Crunch. I overfarm as much as possible and now it is so low this Crunch will definitely KO, and if they choose to shield I'll hit him with a second Crunch. The opponent knows this and allows him to go down. They bring out an Alolan Marowak. Obviously the Bone Club will hit for super effective, but they are going to have to take a Crunch. They actually take the Crunch, they don't even shield. We get to a second Crunch, Drapion is going on an absolute tear up here. Second Crunch does draw the shield, and now at this stage we can just come back in with Blastoise, and a couple of water guns will be enough to take him out. They switch back out into the Politoed, so this is where you're going to see the closing power of Zapdos. Again, this is a Weather Ball, I allow it to go through, and now I bring in Zapdos. So you're going to have to take notice of how I play this matchup. We know they're on Weather Ball, so I allow this to go through. You can see it does around half our health, and now you need to sync up fast moves. Weather Ball comes after 4 Mud Shots. You see I throw 4 Thunder Shocks and CMP tie them. This is to maximise energy gain. You can see it's a CMP because as soon as I fired my move, they fire back. So I'm going to shield this up. Once again, it's important you throw 4 Thunder Shocks. So there's the 4th. Again, I throw on the CMP. If you're going to use squishy Pokemon like Zapdos, this is the best playstyle to go for. Drill Peck takes them out. They come back out with Marowak. They get to their charge move just before us. I can allow this to go down, and a couple of water guns will be enough to take this game. We're actually just short of the Hydro Cannon. So just to be safe, fire off the Hydro Cannon, and this is going to be a good game. Off to a 1-0 start. You can see there the closing power of Zapdos is phenomenal. So moving on into game 2. We pick up a lead against Lantern. I instant swap into the Drapion. They meet us with a Dugong. This isn't too bad. Unfortunately, we do let an Ice Shard through, but we are far spammier than they are, so we get this Crunch off before they can debuff us. This is going to be the Icy Wind. Again, I am going to allow this to go through. Icy Wind will do a fair amount of damage, but not enough to start threatening us. I overfarm considerably, this time denying the Ice Shard. I'm hoping to get to 2 more moves. I'm really fishing for the defense drop. Unfortunately, we don't get it. However, we do get to another last minute Crunch. This is going to now put the Dugong quite low. It's in the red and we now get the defense drop. This is great for us as Blastoise does resist all of Dugong's charge moves. It double resists the ice moves due to its water typing, or single resist ice moves, sorry, due to its water typing. And it also resists the water pulse due to its water typing. I'm trying to water gun down. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to eat another move, but this is fine. Blastoise doesn't really take too much damage. I now switch out into Zapdos to aggressively get ahead on energy. You can see them 2 Ice Shards have done loads of damage, but we do have an energy lead and we're up shields. They bring out a Charizard. So this isn't fantastic as we are taking neutral from the fast attacks. We draw the opponent's last shield, and now I really want to get this Charizard out. I'm hoping Drill Peck is enough to KO. Unfortunately, they do survive with 1 HP. I'm going to have to let this go as our Drill Peck would be resisting. I won't get to a Thunderbolt as Lantern Sparks would hitting us for neutral. So I put faith in Blastoise clutching out this game. The Sparks are really adding up. They have thrown, which I think is a bit of a mistake. They should just commit to the fast move down as we've got 2 shields. I need to get to this Skull Bash to boost our defense, and then it's going to be a race. Will we have enough HP to get to the Hydro Cannon we need to win the match? Let's find out. You can see we're water gunning down desperately, and just short, our trash IVs do let us down, unfortunately, but that is a GG's to the opponent. I didn't want to give the Lantern any free farm on my Zapdos, and we'd only get to a Drill Peck, so I put faith in Blastoise, and unfortunately we didn't win that game. But in this next battle, we pick up a good lead against Dugong. I imagine the opponent is going to try and catch. They do switch out into Tropius, so we bring out Zapdos. We do resist the air slashes. Unfortunately, we do let one through. Poor timing on my part, but these Drill Pecks will do massive damage. First Drill Peck gets them really low, and even these Thunder Shocks are hitting for neutral. We do resist all charge moves from the Tropius. You can see though, Zapdos is really squishy. I'm over farming heavily, and now I am going to elect to shield. I shield up the Leaf Blade. Let's see if the opponent has been keeping track of our energy. I throw when I'm at 100. This Drill Peck will take him out, and I've got loads of residual energy for whatever comes in. The opponent chooses the shield, which is a mistake as I'm so far ahead in energy. I'm actually well over the back-to-back. The opponent double shields. They now snipe with Dugong, so they've got that Tropius in the back on very minimal HP, but they've now switch locked their Dugong against our Blastoise. As we said in the previous matchup, we do resist all charge moves from Dugong due to our water typing. I overfarm a touch and I go for this Skull Bash. Skull Bash will hit for huge damage even though we have been debuffed. You can see we've got him down deep into the red. Once again, I am going to save my shield for Drapion, hoping Drapion can close out this match. I get to the Hydro Cannon, but I don't actually throw it. I'm going to allow this to go through as I want to farm the Dugong down with my Drapion. In comes Drapion. I do commit to the Poison Sting down. They switch out into Tropius, but Aerial Ace is a trash move and we resist Leaf Blade. They go for the resisted Leaf Blade, and now I am going to be able to farm them down for energy. In the back, they've got a Diggersby, so this is a bit of a rough spot. Let's see if Drapion can clutch out this game. This is just a Fire Punch. I'm going to let it go through. The Mud Shots are super effective, but Mud Shot isn't the hardest hitting move. This Crunch, hopefully we do get the defense drop. Crunch is going to hit for decent damage. Unfortunately, we don't get the defense drop. I'm going to fire up another Crunch, fishing for the defense drop once again, but at this stage it doesn't really matter as we are going to need 2 Crunches to take him out. The Diggersby is over farming. I managed to catch them before they try and catch the charge move. Crunch will take out Diggersby, and we should be able to Poison Sting down this Dugong, and Drapion once again clutches out a game. We're huge fans of Drapion on this channel, and in that matchup you can see why. Moving into the next battle, we pick up a lead against Shadow Machamp. This is fairly neutral. We lag a turn due to the new update. It's really annoying. You don't really want to give Machamp any free turns, but we are going to tank this first move. Cross Chop does a decent chunk. We get to the Hydro Cannon. I'm trying to throw off the opponent's time, and I did try and throw 1 turn before, hoping to delayed CMP. We do draw the shield. Unfortunately, they just commit to the farm down. Drapion really doesn't want to see a loaded Machamp, so we are going to have to bring in Zapdos. Let's try and get ahead in energy. In comes Zapdos. They've got enough energy for the Rock Slide. I know the opponent is likely to bait. They actually do go straight Rock Slide, which is great for us. So now I overfarm and I throw again on CMP. Just as they reach their 5th counter, I don't even want to take a Cross Chop as Zapdos is so squishy. So we take out the Machamp. We've got a little bit of residual energy for whatever comes in. Again, I am overfarming. I look to try and catch a Crunch onto Drapion. Let's see if we are successful. The opponent does throw the Crunch, so that's great for us. And they actually switch out into Hypno. Once again, this is fairly decent for us. I do manage to deny a Confusion and I go straight for this Crunch. Crunch is going to do huge damage to Hypno. Unfortunately, it isn't a Shadow, so it's not in Poison Sting down range. So I'm going to let this Thunder Punch go through. I'm going to overfarm as much as possible, but I am going to have to dump some more energy. This Crunch should be enough to take out the Hypno, which it is. And we should get to one more move against this Greedent. This Crunch will do decent damage, and once again we do hope for a defense drop. Crunch does do big damage to Greedent. We do get the defense drop, so I can now shield this move up, and as they did dump their energy on the Drapion when we did catch the move, we're going to outpace them to this back-to-back Drill Peck with the defense drop. Greedent, even though super bulky, Drill Peck should be enough to KO. I actually have the Thunderbolt ready, but Drill Peck will be enough to take this game. So Zapdos Closer shows its worth in this battle. GG's to the opponent. So we're off to a 3-on-1 start in this first set of battles. Let's see if we can finish the set out strong. We lead our Shadow Blastoise into a Toxicroak. Once again, this isn't great, as any Shadow that is neutral to counter does take a lot of damage. I am going to try and once again get shield advantage. I fire this off one turn before they get to the Sludge Bomb, hoping again to get a delayed CMP with a State of the Game. It does draw the shield, and you can see the counter register, and it was a delayed CMP as they fire immediately and they actually go straight Sludge Bomb. This is fantastic for us. Zapdos does resist counter. We are going to throw on CMP as we don't want to take a Mud Bomb. Flying does double resist ground, but Electric does take super effective, so it's only single resist and would do decent damage. They allow the Toxicroak to go down, and again we do have a little bit of residual energy. They bring in Hypno, and in the back is Empoleon, so this isn't a bad spot to be in. I do try and time my charge move to not allow any waterfall through. My game brings up another app, which isn't great. I do manage to get back in and luckily shield it up. This Crunch should do big damage, which it does. Again, I am going to overfarm. I get towards the back-to-back, and we do fire off just before they reach the next Hydro Cannon. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. They shield it up, which is a mistake, as I was at the back-to-back. So Drapion is going to take out this Empoleon, which we do. I'm spamming out Zapdos. I get to this Drill Peck. I deny the confusion. We are going to need 2 Drill Pecks to take out the bulky Hypno. The first one does come through. They're going to commit to the confusion down, but Zapdos once again in the closer position clutches out this game. Drill Peck takes out the Hypno. GG's to that opponent. You can see there in that game, energy management was key. Moving on into set 2. We're now leading Shadow Hypno. So we pick up a lead against Dragonair. This is kind of neutral. I have played Dragonair quite a lot in Great League, and a lot of them don't elect to shield as they expect Thunder Punch. We're running Ice Punch. Dragonair does get taken out, calling the Thunder Punch bait. We aren't baiting. In comes a Bomber Snow. We aren't going to shield up anything here as Drapion has got a good matchup. We survived the Weather Ball, and we did CMP, so this Ice Punch will hit for neutral. Once again, this is why we like to have Ice Punch, not Thunder Punch only. And we now make an aggressive swap into our Drapion. They've got a Beedrill in the back. This looks like a huge GG. Crunch, we do start lagging, but Crunch will do big damage. We're getting more lag. It looks like the opponent has just left the match at this stage, so I don't want to show the rest of that as they did just leave the match, but it was a GG's. It looked like we did kind of team comp from there, but we're off to a 1-0 start. Once again, we do lag a turn and we pick up a lead against Dugong. This is fairly decent for us as Confusion does really chunk and we can hit him for super effective with Thunder Punch. We allow the Icy Wind to go through. I'm over farming, trying to deny the Ice Shard, which we are successful, and this Thunder Punch, even though debuffed, will still do decent damage. The Dugong does elect to shield. I am CMP tying him here on the next move. Again, I'm not going to shield this up. Icy Wind comes through. I actually switch out, banking that Thunder Punch for later into our safe switch of Drapion. They meet us with a Politoed. Politoed is hitting us for super effective with the Mud Shots, but Weather Ball's not too threatening, and unless they build up towards the Earthquake, we don't have to shield. This opponent hasn't built up to the Earthquake, so we're going to allow this charge move to come through. Just a Weather Ball. And we are going to outpace them to this next charge move. This Crunch should draw a shield, as I don't think they want to allow us to win switch advantage. They actually don't shield, so they didn't want to commit their last shield. I'm hoping we make a last minute Crunch. Once again, Drapion safe switch. I've said it in other videos, is an absolute monster in this remix. We do draw the last shield and we actually CMP tie. This is best case scenario, so we're up 2 shields. The Dugong is dry on energy. We've already got the Thunder Punch locked and loaded. This should do big damage to the Dugong. They switch out, so we switch out as well. They've got a Hypno in the back. You saw this matchup last time, so it's really important to deny any confusions. We are going to have to shield up absolutely everything. I'm going to throw one more Thunder Shock. I give away 2 free turns. I don't want to let a whole confusion through. This Drill Peck does do decent damage, and I now overfarm to the Thunderbolt. As this is a regular Hypno, I don't think that Drill Peck would be enough. Thunderbolt does take him out. Back in comes the Dugong, and once again, Shadow Zapdos closer. Thunder Shock's down for the win. GG's to that opponent. When shields are down, Zapdos goes to town. Hypno is one of the bulkiest mon in the Remix Cup. However, with no shield, Zapdos has no problem closing out this game. Moving on into this next battle, we pick up a lead against Trevenant. This isn't really fantastic. I do try and catch the move on Drapion. We are successful. I'm really hoping it is the Shadow Ball. It's just a Seed Bomb, but either way, both moves are resisted. That's why I'm confident into bringing in Drapion. I overfarm just a touch. I try and fire off this Sludge Bomb. Let's see if the Machamp wants to shield. They do shield. And it looks like they're committing to the counter down. They actually get scared and they actually dump some energy. This is best case scenario for us. Cross Chop obviously is going to take us out as we've got like 2 HP. Cross Chop does come through and does take us out. We're now in a great spot as I can commit to the confusion down with Hypno. I am going to have to tank a move. It is going to do quite a lot of damage, so I decide to shield up the Rock Slide, knowing that the returning Trevenant is going to have to start shielding these Ice Punches. Do they even know we're on Ice Punch at this stage? So I fire one Confusion. Ice Punch will do big damage if it goes unshielded. The opponent must have lost track of our energies. We're at the back-to-back. This Ice Punch will hit for super effective, and Trevenant is quite glassy, so we do take him out. In the back is a Mancargo. So Mancargo is using Incinerate. These Incinerates do huge damage. They are going to debuff us as well with the Rock Tomb. And now it is really important once again to not let any free Incinerates through. So I fire off at a great time. This Thunderbolt will do big damage. No Incinerate comes through. Thunderbolt does land. Once again, we outpace them to the next charge move. We are debuffed. This move is resisted. However, Zapdos doesn't care about typings, and we take that Mancargo out and we take that game. GG's to the opponent. Once again, the closing power of Zapdos is phenomenal. Moving on into this next battle, we'll lead our Shadow Hypno into Politoed. This is a fairly decent matchup for us as we have access to Thunder Punch, which does hit him for super effective. The opponent is building up a lot of energy. I'm just going to let this go through as I'd be quite happy to farm this down with Zapdos. They fire off a Weather Ball. You can really see the Weather Ball nerf there as it didn't do hardly any damage. We fire off a Thunder Punch in return. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent shields this up. They are going to have to go for either a Blizzard or Earthquake as Weather Ball just isn't going to cut it in this situation. They do go for the Earthquake, but they threw it a really poor time and allow us to get the confusion through. And that means we get to another Thunder Punch and we actually win the 0-1 shield, which is best case scenario. They come in with Unova Stunfisk. This isn't really great for us as Discharge would hit Zapdos for huge neutral damage and Drapion would get hit for super effective with these Mud Bombs. I'm going to shield the first one up and I'm going to really cheekily try and catch one on Zapdos. I am counting fast moves. You see me click the move. We're using a 2-turn move each, so there's no reason why that switch didn't register. That's just the desync for you. Love to see it. However, at this stage, I am going to start throwing some energy. So Crunch will come through. It does a decent chunk. We get the defense drop. We outpace him to this next charge move. I highly doubt the opponent wants to commit another shield. So even though we didn't successfully catch, we are now in a decent position. I now switch out into Zapdos. They've got a Harry Armor in the back. So I do try and CMP on the superpower. This Drill Peck, will absolutely one-shot the Harry Armor. And now the Unova Stunfisk knows it's game over, so we take that game. A fighter in the back with 0 shields really does not want to see the super attack weighted, super spammy Shadow Zapdos. Moving on into this next battle, we pick up the absolute dream lead against Toxicroak. They switch out into Lapras, so we meet them with Drapion. I've done this as Drapion. I really don't want to line with Toxicroak. Surf comes through and you can see that Drapion takes huge damage from Surf. I overfarm and I go for this Crunch. I'm hoping to get the defense drop as then we'd only need 2 to take him out. We get the defense drop and we outpace him to this next charge move. Crunch does come through. Let's see if we're going to gain shield advantage. The Lapras does shield us up, and it looks like they are committing to the farm down. This isn't fantastic for us. They have got loads of energy, so I'm going to bring back in Hypno to soak some up. We don't get the confusion through. This could be a Skull Bash, which it is. However, they have now dumped all their energy, so I'm hoping that we can confusion down without taking another move, and we are successful. I'm spamming out a Zapdos. Let's see what's in the back. In the back is a Sand Slash. This is worst case scenario. Zapdos has to go all the way to Thunderbolt to threaten it. I'm not baiting. I go for the nuke, and they actually shield. We are in a rough spot here. It looks like when we're on the clutch of a 5-0, it could be disaster. Resisted Drill Peck still does decent damage. They commit to the farm down. I'm going to have to start shielding up these Ice Punches. Ice Punch, we do shield up. I go for this Thunder Punch. I really wish I had Fire Punch in this situation, as it would one-shot, as it's double super effective. Once again, the opponent does throw their energy. I'm going to have to shield this up, and I'm going to look to try and confusion down. The opponent switches out into Toxicroak, and this gives us a win con. We completely confusion down. We've got the Thunder Punch locked and loaded. So if you're the opponent, you should have just stayed in with Sand Slash, as switching out gives us the win. And with that, we go a perfect 5-0 in set 2. So that is a 9-on-1 run with Shadow Zapdos. And luckily for me, it was the set that you get rare candy as a reward. 5 rare candy is always very much welcome. So those were the battles with Shadow Zapdos. You saw it in 2 different team comps, and both times it did perform phenomenally. Even in that end matchup against Sand Slash, we did go for the nuke of Thunderbolt. They did shield, but even the resisted Drill Peck did huge damage to the Sand Slash, and we managed to clutch out that game. As I said at the start of the video, I wanted to test out, is Zapdos legit or is it hype? A lot of people do see it as a meme pick. However, I think if you're good at counting fast moves and good with energy management, it is a Pokemon you can go on an absolute rampage with, and I would highly recommend. So just like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the